Weird time crystals get DoD funding. Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Defense's super science guys and DARPA announced it would help fund research into time crystals. But what the ancient one are those? Regular crystals are made up of structured atoms in a shape. If touched, a crystal won't break apart. The structure remains rigid even when moved. It generally maintains its shape. Time crystals also feature an atomic structure, except these aren't solid. The structure is constantly moving, repeating it through time. Researchers say these are the world's first non-equilibrium matter, or, more simply, a matter where forces are not balanced. Gizmodo reports the research is mostly hush-hush. But these objects may have applications in atomic clocks and also potentially quantum computing. Stick around for more weird stuff. Identical twins unidentical after one spends a year in space. This is Mark and Scott Kelly, both NASA astronauts and identical twins. Well, at least they used to be. Following his year in space, scientists compared the DNA and RNA of Scott Kelly with his identical twin brother Mark via whole genome sequencing. They found that 7% of Kelly's DNA had changed into so-called space genes. As well as that, his immune system, bone formation, and eyesight all went under changes during his year in space. Telomeres, caps on chromosomes, typically shorten as a person ages. Kelly's lengthened but returned to normal 2 days after he returned to Earth in 2016. So, given a chance, would you spend any time in space? Doctors find big air pocket in man's brain. Doctors treating an elderly man who was having trouble with balance were surprised to find a 3.5-inch air pocket in the patient's brain. An 85-year-old man had been complaining to his doctor in Northern Ireland about recurrent falls and 3 days of left arm and leg weakness. Physicians were worried the patient may have been suffering from some form of stroke, but he was not displaying any visual or speech impairments and did not seem confused or have facial weakness. A brain scan revealed a 3.5-inch long pocket of air, also known as a pneumatocele, in the man's right frontal lobe. An MRI on the man's brain also revealed a small benign bone tumor in the man's paranasal sinuses that was eroding through the base of the skull, causing air to leak into the cranial cavity. Doctors concluded that the air pressure from the air cavity may have caused a small stroke in the patient's frontal lobe. Due to his old age, surgery was ruled out. He was instead given medication to prevent a secondary stroke. After a 12-week follow-up visit, the man said he no longer had any left side muscle weakness. Would you give this bear a hug? A new species of water bear has been discovered in, of all places, a Japanese car park. Writing in the journal PLOS One, scientists designated the new species of tardigrade as Macrobiotis shonaicus. After the initial finding in Japan, researchers were unable to identify which type of tardigrade it was. Reportedly, 20 new species are found annually. They bear resemblance to some other species of tardigrade, but the new species is noted for its unique eggs. These have lengthy tentacles and a solid exterior. Researchers also noted the creature's mouth, which has 3 circular layers of teeth. The research was carried out by scientists in Japan and Poland. Infestation. A poor sheep and its New Jersey owner somehow wound up riddled with thousands of Asian ticks last year, and nobody knows why or how. An infestation of ticks on a sheep were reported to New Jersey health officials in the summer of 2017 after the animal's owner found them during a shearing session. According to NPR, officials found more than 1,000 ticks on her clothing. When officials visited the site, they found themselves covered in ticks. They removed 1,000 from the animal's paddock and found hundreds more on the sheep. Further analysis found them to be Asian ticks, infectious parasites from East Asia. Officials are unsure how they wound up in New Jersey. A study on the events notes the sheep have no travel history. The grass was subsequently cut in the paddock, and both the sheep and property were treated with chemicals. A November inspection found both to be tick-free. But that doesn't mean they died, Tomo sapiens. They could have flocked onto other animals, ramming deeper into the U.S. Sadly, though, the 12-year-old Icelandic sheep reportedly passed away.